What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 118, and we start today's episode off by seeing that Yannick Vestergaard is returning from injury, and also Jake Powell, our youngster, has also accepted a new contract, which is great. And we take on Hull City for the first game of today's episode in the FA Cup round of 16. But before I want to go on, I just want to start off the episode by saying Merry Christmas to all of you that celebrate this holiday. Now, I did have some comments from people asking me whether I was going to upload on Christmas Day, and the reason why I'm uploading, just like last year, is because not everyone celebrates this holiday, and I thought it would be pretty unfair to not upload for those that don't celebrate it, or even for just those people who do celebrate it but sometimes want a bit of time alone, away from the family, and want to be entertained in some other forms. So yeah, that's why I'm uploading on Christmas. And again, if you do celebrate holiday, Merry Christmas. Hope you have a lovely day with your friends and or family, and for those that don't celebrate it, hopefully you have a lovely day regardless, and hopefully this video will cheer you up. So we take on Hull City for the first game of today's episode in the FA Cup round of 16, and as you saw by my team there, of course, coming on the back of that game against Barcelona in midweek, there did have to be some changes. Of course, we only had a few days rest before coming into this game, so as per usual, changes to be made. Never really like doing that, of course, because the FA Cup this year is going to be really important for us, because I do want to win it, as we haven't won it so far in this series. But there were, of course, a lot of first team players out there, and of course one of those was Joe Hart, who has been an absolutely fantastic signing for us, and he saves the first chance of the game. A free header for Hull was well stopped by our goalkeeper there, and it's still 0-0. And in the 34th minute, Salvio almost scores a wonderful goal there. The goalkeeper Jakupovic seemed to have it covered, but it didn't go too far over the bar, and it was still 0-0. But outside the first half would finish, but in the second half it started really brightly, but not for us, but for Hull City. As Diame gets on the ball for them, he finds Tom Huddleston. It's a brilliant ball into Abel Hernandez, and the Uruguayan puts it past Ben Foster and makes it West Bromwich Albion 0, Hull City 1. So brilliant ball by Tom Huddleston. He's such a good passer of the ball, and the ball's at his feet, and he can play those balls forward towards the attackers. That's exactly what happened there. Abel Hernandez, so much pace, ran onto it, and when he went one-on-one with Joe Hart, Hart's been in tremendous form, but I couldn't see him stopping it, and he didn't. Right into the bottom corner, and it is West Bromwich Albion 0, Hull City 1. But just a few minutes later here, Saido Berahino's on the ball for us, and it's a great chance for a 2-on-2 as Hull have pushed a lot of bodies forward. As Berahino finds Carroll, he rises to challenge at Dawson. He went to ground stupidly, should never have gone to ground in that situation. We played it through towards Saido Berahino, who was always going to be the last man, and once he went one-on-one with the goalkeeper, well, Saido Berahino may be our fourth best striker overall, but he's still a superb striker, and he's going to finish those chances all day long. So Saido Berahino tucks it in and makes it West Bromwich Albion 1, Hull City 1. So we're not behind for long, we're back on level terms just 7 minutes after conceding, and straight from kickoff, Huddleston gives the ball away. Carroll tries to play it through to Berahino, and Dawson again is sloppy at the back, gives it away. Berahino stops the ball, tried to finesse it into the far corner, and it went just a whisker wide of that far post and behind for a goal kick. So still 1-1, but we were desperate to try and punish Hull for their silly mistakes at the back, really. Michael Dawson, such an experienced defender, just was not defending well at all in this game. But on the hour mark here, Hull come forward themselves with David Myler finding Abel Hernandez, and as Hernandez finds Huddleston here, he picks out Yannick Sagbo into Myler, and as Myler finds Diame, Hull City once again take the lead in this game for the second time. And again, I'm sitting there thinking, what am I doing with my defending? But both goals, you have to say, were really nice from Hull. The passing they play on this game is very, very good, and they've been in good form this season as well in the league. They're still in the top 4, and they were showing why in this FA Cup game, because they just look so composed in front of goal, and their passing was fantastic. So Diame makes it 2-1, and the visitors retake the lead for a shock second time. But in the 67th minute, Andre Carrillo goes down the right hand side, Berber spins around Andrew Robertson and shoots, but it's a very good stop by Jakupovic, and he keeps the score at 2-1. So very, very good save by the whole goalkeeper there. And a few minutes later, Niang off the bench is on the ball, takes on the former Spurs man Jake Livermore and beats him, gives it to Saido Berahino, who rolls it back inside to Niang, fake shots around the man and shoots, but again Jakupovic makes a great save, and it was still 2-1. So the Hull City goalkeeper in fine form, and still Hull led, and they could have made it 3-1 in the 76th minute. A crossing towards Abel Hernandez, I left the ball with Mauricio stupidly, and thankfully for us, our goalkeeper bails us out there in the near post and makes a very good save. So still 2-1. In the 84th minute, we cross the ball in here, and it's not really dealt with by Hull. As it comes to Niang, we try and shoot, we get tackled, the ball gets cleared away, but as Creswell beats Altidore in the air here, he ends up just launching the ball forward scored on a half volley. And well, I've said it a few times now, but Danny Ings rarely ever plays for us. He rarely ever gets on the pitch. But when he does, he always scores goals. And it's the same here. I brought on Danny Ings for Mauricio, the centre-back, because we had to go all-out attack in the last few minutes as we were still behind in this game. And Danny Ings comes off the bench, gets himself forward, and gets himself between the defender and the goalkeeper, and heads the ball over the on-rushing Jakupovic into the empty net, and makes it West Bromwich Albion 2, Hull City 0. So Danny Ings comes off the bench and scores again, and surely that is going to be the game going to a replay, would it? Well, in the 88th minute, as Hull give the ball away, Ings plays it forward to Carroll, and as we were still on ultra attacking, Hull must have beaten themselves because they only had one man back. We had a 3-on-1 opportunity. We gave the ball to Salvio, and Salvio rounds the goalkeeper, and with a minute to spare makes it West Bromwich Albion 3, Hull City 2, and we are through to the FA Cup quarter-finals in the most dramatic of circumstances. Salvio has not scored a single goal for this club this year, and his first one is a last-minute winner in the FA Cup round of 16 to send us through to the quarter-finals. So, you know, if you're going to get your first goal for a club, make it special. That's what I'd say, and he certainly did. Salvio scores the late one. You can see the fans behind the goal with their hands to their mouths. They're shocked. They don't know what's going to happen, but Salvio makes it 3-2, and as you'll see, we did go on to win the game and go through to the round of 16 because the final chance did fall to Hull, but Tom Huddleston, who was playing quite well in this game, missed a chance as he blazed a shot over the bar. So final score was indeed West Bromwich Albion 3, Hull City 2, and it was just a fantastic game. I mean, this is why you love the FA Cup. It was a brilliant game full of so much action, and you know, for a long time I thought Hull were going to win this game. You know, they were leading the game 2-1 until the last 5 minutes. I thought it's all over. We've choked in the FA Cup once again. I don't know why, but I just cannot do it in this competition. I had the same problems last year in my PS4 career mode. For some reason, even though I did win it a couple of times, I just kept on going out in early rounds. But this time we're not going out in the round of 16. We've reached the quarterfinals, so we've gone 1 step better than, actually 2 steps better than last year, and 3 steps better than the year before that. And yeah, we are indeed into the quarterfinals. I definitely at least want to get to Wembley in the semi-finals. Definitely at least want to do that. I know we're still in the Premier League, obviously trying to make sure we do finish the season unbeaten. Touchwood, we'll be able to do that. I know we're still in the Champions League as well, but really I do want to make sure we get quite far in the FA Cup this year, and going out in the round of 16 would have been unacceptable for us. So I'm glad that Danny Ings and Salvio did score those late goals and put us through. So 3-2 the final score, and we then take on Manchester United for the second and final game of today's episode here as we travel to Manchester to take on Old Trafford. And of course they're in 8th place, we're in 1st. We have got such a huge gap at the top of the table with only 12 games to go. It is very, very unlikely that any team will catch us, and as I said, I'm not going to sit there and say the Premier League's won, because I never like to be that naive and that arrogant about chances, but let's be honest, unless we have a monumental slip up in these final 12 games, we are probably going to retain our title, and I really do want to make sure we can at least give it a really good go for going unbeaten. And of course my main aim as well is to set the highest record of total points accumulated in a Premier League season. Of course Chelsea currently have the record with 95, so I definitely want to break that record from Mourinho and set a new record in the Premier League. But still, the first chance would fall to United in the second minute, and I almost thought they scored as well. Wayne Rooney smashing the ball into the side netting, and thankfully for us it did go behind for a goal kick. And in the 8th minute they came through again here, making a really bright start. Di Maria's on the ball, and a former Real Madrid man finds Rooney, and this time Rooney's shot is on target, but Joe Hart is on hand to make the save. So Rooney looking very menacing early on, but thankfully it was still scoreless. In the 17th minute again, Manchester United come forward here with Javier Hernandez, but as he gives the ball away, Lacazette shoots it from range, and it goes just wide the post. I love the way he hit that ball. What a goal it would have been, but it was unfortunately still 0-0. And in the 23rd minute here, Di Maria's on the ball and finds Daley Blind. The Dutchman finds Rafael down his left-hand side, and the Brazilian fullback plays it back inside towards Daley Blind, who picks out Di Maria. The Argentine finds Ander Herrera, and his shot is well saved by Joe Hart, who manages to turn the ball behind for a corner. But in the 40th minute, how about this? We failed to get a long throw-in dealt with. Wayne Rooney goes down on the edge of the area, and Salif Sane, who is playing his first game in over a month and a half now, ends up taking him down, and 40 minutes into his comeback game, gives away a penalty. So our giant number 6 is guilty of a bit of a lethargic challenge there on Wayne Rooney. And you know, you guys have seen some dodgy penalty decisions this year, but you cannot have any complaints about that. He just basically seems to body check him, throw his face in Rooney's as well, and I had no complaints whatsoever. That is a definite penalty. So penalty to Manchester United. It's going to be Javier Hernandez who will stand up and take it. So the Mexican is back in the United shirt now, wearing the number 9 jersey, and he goes to take on Joe Hart from the spot. He stutters, and Joe Hart prevails scores with his second penalty save of the season, and this guy is without doubt one of, if not the best goalkeepers I have ever owned in career mode. He is absolutely incredible, and he proves it there with his second penalty save of the season. He keeps it at 0-0. Fantastic stop by the former City goalkeeper. That must not have been good for United fans, and it's still 0-0. And in the 55th minute here, Niang comes forward, but De Gea, another great goalkeeper in form in real life right now, makes a very good save to deny him and keeps it at 0-0 as the ball reflects off Niang and goes behind for a goal kick. And from the goal kick, the Spanish goalkeeper eventually launches the ball forward towards his strike partnership of Rooney and Hernandez. And as Hernandez goes for the header here, Sane gets out jumped again in the air, and as Herrera gives it to Hernandez, thankfully we recover the situation with the challenge by Sane. And Sane plays the ball forward towards Kyle Walker, our right back here. We retain possession before playing it forward towards Andre Carrillo. He takes it around Gundogan, goes through the centre, plays a brilliant ball over the top to Niang after a nice little ball roll. And Jones and Raphael are both chasing back, but neither of them have the pace to stop Niang. And as Raphael brings him down from behind, I think personally the Brazilian right back can be lucky he's not sent off for that. It was a terrible challenge from behind, and he was the last man. Well, Jones was there as well, but neither of them were going to stop the clear goal scoring opportunity. But still, maybe it is a booking. But one thing's for sure, it's a definite penalty, and it is of course going to be Niang against David De Gea. And as I've said before, penalties this year really easy to score. I've said it before. I've said it about 1,000 times before. Penalties are so easy to score this year, so I am trying to vary it up a little bit, not always go to the top corner. So this time I went to the bottom corner, but it's the same result. We find the back of the net. De Gea is rooted to the spot. He can't do what his opposite number Joe Hart did, and that stopped the penalty. Niang turns it in. I don't think Niang has missed a single penalty for us since arriving, and as he makes it 1-0 here, you couldn't see any way back for United, because even though they did have so many great attacking players, with our solid defence and Joe Hart in such inspired form, I couldn't see them getting any goals whatsoever. But they would have a good go for it, and as Javi Hernandez backheels the ball to a Gundogan here, he picks out Wayne Rooney, and he is denied by a very good save by Joe Hart as we get the ball away. But in the 73rd minute, the game would be over, because as Kevin Savanier crosses this corner in here, Sane wins the header, and on his comeback game, he gave away a penalty, but to his credit, he also gets a goal as well. Salif Sane wins the header in the box, as you'd expect, and it loops over De Gea, who I have to say, I don't really know why he didn't dive there. I mean, the header, yes, it was really, like, the trajectory was crazy. It looped up in the air and came down really high, but, you know, De Gea's not a small goalkeeper. He's like, what, 6'4", and it was a slow one as well. I thought he should have at least dived for it, and Raphael couldn't keep it out on the line, but still 2-0 to West Bromwich Albion. And in the 82nd minute, as Joe Hart catches this cross, he kicks the ball forward really quickly, and look at Niang, lovely first touch on the chest, goes through one-on-one, and when he's against De Gea one-on-one, I had every single piece of confidence that he would score, and he did. He finesses the ball round the Spanish goalkeeper, runs to celebrate with Joe Hart, who gets his first assist in a West Bromwich Albion shirt. How about that, a goalkeeper assist? You got to love them. It reminds me of a goalkeeper I had in one of my first ever career modes in Paulo Gazzaniga. There's a blast from the past. He got a couple of goalkeeper assists himself, but yeah, Hart kicks the ball forward. Niang chests the ball lovely as you like, goes one-on-one, and he could not miss. So, and Mbaye Niang gets his 22nd goal in the Premier League this season and wraps up the points. United 0, West Bromwich Albion 3. An absolutely fantastic victory. Two good wins here against Hull and Manchester United. We're through to the FA Cup quarter-finals. We look as though we're going to win the league undefeated as things stand. Touch wood, and everything is going according to plan here at the Hawthorn. So thanks very much for watching the video, guys. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, please leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.